4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
Whether you're in automotive, sporting goods, hardware, health, wellness, electrical, electronics, construction, carpet cleaning, legal, or animal care, and offer exceptional customer service and provide quality services or goods, you're honest, reliable, and professional. If you have a business, we have the customers. Let us put you in touch with our loyal, supportive, and dedicated listeners today. They're waiting to hear from you. It's inexpensive. It's effective. Call KHNC at 1-800-205-6245. With the summer months upon us, let's all keep an extra special eye out for our senior citizens. Check on them on a regular basis, especially when the weather is hot. Make sure they have what they need. Someday we'll all be in that position. Wouldn't you like to have someone watch out for you? That's from Brush Housing Authority, reminding listeners, for housing programs, call 970-845-5046. That's 970-845-5046. That's Brush Housing Authority on the air, wishing everyone a great summer season.
Why does the West love lying to itself about Islam? Is Mark Zuckerberg just fronting for the CIA in one of the biggest intelligence coups of all time? An Indiana Muslim congressman suggests America consider adopting the Islamic madrasa model of education that teaches the Quran. Mitt Romney tells the takers at the NAACP to take a hike. Yet another young Muslim male pleads guilty to not understanding his own religion, and lifestyles of the rich and Palestinian. My name's Howard Riell, and this is Real Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com, and on Facebook, and on YouTube, and on RealTV.com, and in the book, Real Truth, Stay Angry. And, of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM The Lion. Our call-in number, 877-254-7524, item from freebeacon.com. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas has allegedly deposited nearly $13 million in U.S. taxpayer aid into a secret bank account, and routinely uses his political connections to profit from the stagnant peace process, according to testimony presented to Congress by several Middle East experts. Abbas has enriched himself during his 7 years in office through secret land deals and helped his two sons earn millions of dollars through their stakes in companies that profit from U.S. assistance, the experts said during a House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing entitled Corruption Within the Palestinian Political Establishment. Stop! It's a bit redundant. When you say Palestinian political establishment, you have already said corruption. Let's continue. Abbas's sons, Yasser and Tarek, have used their government ties to secure plum contracts and special treatment for business partners, according to Jonathan Shanzer, Vice President of Research for the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. The corruption just scratches the surface of the Palestinian First Family's shady dealings, experts warned. Abbas has, quote, used his position of power to line his pockets, declared Representative Steve Chabot, Republican, Ohio, chair of the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on the Middle East and South Asia. Our policy must aim to empower those who seek to serve the Palestinian people instead of themselves, unquote. Though Abbas and the PA are considered to be a safer, more moderate alternative to the terror group Hamas, which controls the Gaza Strip, the corrupt Abbas... Oh, stop! How much can I take? Who is there out there with half a brain who considers the PA any sort of an alternative? Hamas is a terror group. The PA is a terror group. When we say that Hamas controls the Gaza Strip, we might as well say, spit in God's face. God gave the land of Israel, which includes the Gaza Strip, to the Jewish people for all time. Let's bring it down to earth. Let's say you gave me a red, white, and blue tie for my birthday. You come over to my house a month later, and one of my other guests is wearing the tie. How do you feel? You feel like crap, right? How do you suppose God feels? He gave this land to the Jewish people in perpetuity. It's yours. No one else can claim it. Guard it. It's holy. And then they give it away. They give it away to murderers, liars, thieves, terrorists, supporters of terror. The people who hate God with a passion, hate his Jewish people with a passion. And we re-gifted the Holy Land. It's Thursday, all right? Let me continue. The consistent choice of Palestinian President Abbas as a path that has kept him in office, said Representative Gary Ackerman, Democrat in New York, the subcommittee's ranking member. As a major political donor to the Palestinians, we need to be extremely concerned that our aid will be construed as support for a corrupt regime. Stop, Gary Schmuck! If you see that our money is going to corrupt politicians, stop sending it. If you see it's going to murderers and terrorists who have yet to honor any agreement that they signed, stop sending it. You want to send something to the Palestinians? We got plenty of bombs. It is the failure of the Palestinians to say yes that has prevented them from having a state of their own. Not the security fence, not the settlements, not the Israeli Defense Forces, not Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu or anyone else, Ackerman said. Stop. Wrong. None of those things have prevented the Palestinians from having their own state. Not even the Palestinians have prevented them from having their own state. The only thing in the universe preventing the Palestinians from having their own state is God. And if you don't know that, you don't know a thing. There's a destiny in the world. There's a destiny for people, for peoples, and for land, for the Holy Land. It has a destiny. It will not be handed over to the scurvy scum residing in the Palestinian territories. That will not happen. I continue. The Obama administration is not providing proper oversight for the $600 million in U.S. foreign aid to the PA, Shanzer noted. Washington should simply acknowledge that there's a problem, he said. The staff at the U.S. Consulate General in East Jerusalem reportedly knows Palestinians believe their ruling elite are corrupt. Stop! Reportedly knows? My friends, you want to know what's wrong with America? I'll tell you. We play games. We don't solve problems. We talk about solving problems. We talk about problems possibly existing. We talk about forming committees and study groups to see if problems persist and if they exist. And if they do, we'll have more study groups to talk about which groups we can have to study a possible potential solution in case there's a problem. I'm from the old school. I was taught common sense by my parents, may they rest in peace. You got a problem, you fix the problem. If someone says there may be a problem, you say, schmuck, there is or there isn't. Instead, we've got politicians and diplomats pussyfooting around in the Middle East while people are being murdered, bombs are being dropped, and God's name is being dragged through the filth and the mud. I've had it. Don't play games with the Palestinians. They go. I don't care if they go to Jordan, Syria, Jupiter, Neptune. They go. There's peace in the Middle East. It's Thursday on Real Truth. You bet your ass we'll be right back.
Just a good old boy.
Hi, I'm Eric Cedarstrup. For over a decade, I've been the CEO, shipping clerk, and janitor of the Patriot Trading Group. And in that time, I've made friends with tens of thousands of like-minded individuals all over this country, most like me, trying to raise a family, run a business, and make sense out of a world gone mad. I'm proud of the fact that through stock bubbles, housing bubbles, and financial chaos, our customers are prospering and doing very well. By keeping our prices fair and our service fast, We find that 80% of our customers not only reorder, but they tell their friends. Don't be fooled by hype and high pressure. Do business with a company you can trust. Call the Patriot Trading Group at 1-800-951-0592 or check out our website at allamericangold.com. You'll be treated with honesty and respect. You have my word on it. I'm Eric Cedarstrom, CEO of Shipping Clerk and Janitor.
Taking their way, the only way they know how.
Looking for the perfect answer to your nutrition and health needs? Look no further. BioSuperfood, developed to heal the peoples, animals, and land after the Chernobyl disaster, has the most complete, powerful nutritional analysis for health and wellness. Easy to digest, BioSuperfood contains complete proteins, amino acids, and vitamins A, B complex, B12, C, E, D, and K. It contains minerals and trace elements like calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, iodine, manganese, zinc, selenium, silicon, and it provides essential fatty acids, omega-3, 6, and 9. It's high in gamma-linoleic acid and has thousands of active enzymes and phytonutrients like chlorophyll, spirulina, and carotenes. Beta-carotene, alpha-carotene, astaxanthin, lutein, lycopene, quercetin, and much more. Save your money, save your time. Compare, and you'll find that there is no more researched or superior product available on the market today. Call now and get your discount prices on your next BioSuperfood at 303-257-7576, 303-257-7576, or BioSuperfood at hotmail.com.
My friends, the other day, Mitt Romney appeared at a gathering of the NAACP, and he told them that he would be better for them, for the black community, than Barack Obama would be. They booed. He said he wanted to end Obamacare. They booed. On her show Wednesday night, MSNBC host Rachel Maddow reported that Romney had responded to being booed by the NAACP by telling them to vote for Obama if they wanted handouts. Remind them of this: if they want more stuff from government, tell them to go vote for the other guy. More free stuff, Romney reportedly said at the fundraiser in Montana. But don't forget, nothing is really free. Attendees at the 103rd convention of the NAACP loudly booed the presumptive Republican presidential candidate on Wednesday after he promised to eliminate Obama's health care reform law. If our goal is jobs, we have to stop spending over $1 trillion more than we take in every year, Romney told the audience. And so to do that, I'm going to eliminate every non-essential, expensive program I can find, and that includes Obamacare. At that point, the candidate was forced to pause his remarks and smile as the crowd booed for an uncomfortable 3 seconds. So, my friends, what's happening here? We've created a culture in this country of handouts, entitlements. People want, gimme, gimme, gimme. Apparently, the NAACP, at least the people of that meeting, believe in handouts. They want the government to play mommy. Grown-ups don't want that. Grown-ups, Americans, want to forge their own way in the world without handouts, without mommy from the government. People at the NAACP who booed Romney are takers. They want to take. They want us, the rest of us, to give. Well, that's not how the planet works. Here's a colleague of mine, Rush Limbaugh, talking about this incident. Let's listen.
Of the black vote, and you throw this election into a tizzy. Get 5% of the black vote, and Obama loses. So he shows up today. Obama doesn't show up anywhere other than before an audience of college kids or union people. That's it. You won't see Obama at the NAACP. He's going to send Biden. Tell some sex jokes. Or whatever else Biden's going to end up gaffing. But Obama's getting nowhere near it. Now, Romney did and will. Romney will speak to venues like the NAACP. He'll go into enemy territory. Obama will not. And who's the president of the United States and who's the candidate? Obama's the Prezi. As who said it? Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, Obama's the Prezi of the United States. And he doesn't dare show up. He's confident they'll boo Romney simply because Romney's white. He's confident of that. But he knows that he's going to have hell to pay in private meetings with these people. He's not going to get anywhere near it. So what an insult. Here's Obama sending Biden, not going himself, on the campaign trail talking about how great his economy is, how great the recovery is, how much better it's going to be, and how much he's going to be doing for people. So Romney takes advantage of the occasion. He goes there and makes a speech that is really, I think, over these people's heads in the sense that his audience was much larger than just inside the convention hall. He's got the media there, and here's an opportunity for Romney to be himself, tell everybody what he stands for, what he believes, what he wants to do, what his perception problems is. And it doesn't matter if he gets booed. By the way, he got a standing O at the end of it. After all of that, he did get a standing ovation at the end of his speech, the NAACP. I don't know how many news media will report that.
Well, I never heard it reported, but I think it's disgraceful that there are Americans, and it doesn't matter what color they are, what race, what religion. It's disgraceful. Americans just want their hands out. You know, in the old days of New York, where I come from, late 1800s, early 1900s, there was no bones about it. The politicians like Boss Tweed would send people around with turkeys, giving away turkeys. You vote for me, here's some free food. It was open. It was out in the open. And it worked. Because there are a lot of people who are stupid enough to sell their votes. Anybody out there read the Bible? Remember Esau selling his birthright as the firstborn in return for a pot of lentils? Guys, are we really not smarter than that? Item from Steve Plout, writing at frontpagemag.com. A fascinating development this week in Israel was the release of the report of a governmental commission whose assignment was to define the legal status of the, quote, occupied territories for purposes of government policy. The Obama people are upset at the report, an indication of how good it is, and Israel's moonbat left is positively wetting itself in anguish. Basically, the report says that the West Bank, Judea, and Samaria are not occupied territories at all, but at most disputed territories, something like the U.S.-Canadian border areas were during parts of the North American history. As such, there's no reason why Israel cannot build there and even seize land there under eminent domain. There is nothing in international law that would make settlements illegal. Stop. International law be damned. The world won't let Israel have that land. Why? Anti-Semitism. But I said it. That's why. Nothing to do with international law. You know, as long as I've been following international politics, as long as I've been following Israel, I've seen about, a bazillion and a half articles showing that Israel is right, Israel's correct, law is on their side, precedent is on their side, and it means nothing. If only there were people running the government of Israel who didn't care what the world said or thought. People who took action, who saw problems and fixed them. There aren't people like that in the Knesset, at least not very many of them, just like here. You got a problem, you fix the problem. I'm from Brooklyn. That's how I was taught. Israel's got a problem. It's got lots of problems. Its Knesset is a problem. The political mafia that runs it is a problem. The Palestinians are a problem. They all go. The corrupt system goes. It ends. The corrupt politicians go. The Palestinians go. What do you have left? You have the Holy Land left. Item from AP, Dateline Chicago. A 29-year-old Chicago man accused of plotting a suicide bombing overseas has agreed to change his plea to guilty, bringing to an end one of the last terrorism trials pending in the city's federal court. A lawyer for Shakir Masri, whose plea deal was announced at a Thursday status hearing, told reporters the agreement hammered out with his counterparts at the U.S. Attorney's Office were favorable to his client, though he declined to elaborate. Masri, who was born in Alabama and lived abroad before returning to the U.S. at age 18, was arrested in 2010 before boarding a scheduled flight from Chicago to Los Angeles, allegedly the first leg of a trip to training camp for jihadists in Somalia. Masri was charged with attempting to provide material support to a violent extremist and trying to offer material support by use of a weapon of mass destruction outside the U.S., unquote. I think it's a shame that this young fellow Masri doesn't understand his own religion. We all know that Islam is the religion of peace. He must not have gotten the memo. Don't worry, friends. Masri's not alone. There are plenty of Muslims in America, maybe sitting next to you on your next flight. Item from Front Page Mag, Dan Greenfield reporting, headline, Why the West Loves Lying to Itself About Islam. Get up closer to the radios, my friend. Listen to this. I quote, say that you get a tempting offer from a Nigerian prince and decide to invest some money in helping him transfer his vast fortune from Burkina Faso or Dubai over to the bank across the street. The seemingly simple task of bringing over the $18 million left to him by his father hits some snags that require you to put in more and more of your own money. Eventually, you have invested more than you would ever have done up front, just trying to protect the sunk cost, the money that you already sank into Prince Hussein Ngobo's scheme. And to protect your self-esteem, you must go on believing that no matter what Prince Ngobo does, he is credible and sincere. Any failings in the interaction must be your fault. Anyone who tells you otherwise must be a Ngobophobe. Now imagine that Prince Ngobo's real name is Islam. That's where Western elites find themselves now. They invested heavily in the illusion of a compatible Islamic civilization. Those investments, whether in Islamic immigration or Islamic democracy or peace with Islam, have turned toxic. But dropping those investments is as out of the question as writing off Prince Ngobo as a con artist and walking away feeling like a fool. Western elites who fancy themselves more intelligent and more enlightened than the wise men and prophets of every religion, and who base their entire right to rule on that intelligence and enlightenment, are not in the habit of admitting that they are fools, unquote. My friends, ask anybody who knows me. I've never had trouble admitting that I'm a fool. And if I admit that I made a mistake, I stop making it and I fix it. The West has sunk a lot of time and money into the world of Islam. Okay, bad decision. Now let's make a good decision. Item from CNET. A new executive order addresses how the country deals with the Internet during natural disasters and security emergencies, but it also puts a lot of power in the government's hands. President Barack Obama signed an executive order last week that could give the U.S. government control over the Internet. With the wordy title, Assignment of National Security and Emergency Preparedness Communications Functions, this order was designed to empower certain government agencies with control over telecommunications and the web during natural disasters and security emergencies. Here's the rationale behind the order. The federal government must have the ability to communicate at all times and under all circumstances to carry out its most critical and time-sensitive missions. Survivable, resilient, enduring, and effective communications, both domestic and international, are essential to enable the blah-blah-blah-blah-blah. According to The Verge, critics of the order are concerned with Section 5.2, which is a lengthy part outlining how telecommunications and the Internet are controlled. It states that the Secretary of Homeland Security will, quote, oversee the development, testing, implementation, and sustainment, unquote, of national security and emergency preparedness measures on all systems, including private non-military communications networks. According to The Verge, critics say this gives Obama the on-off switch to the web. Presidential powers over the Internet and telecommunications were laid out in the U.S. Senate bill in 2009, which proposed handing the White House the power to disconnect private sector computers from the Internet. But that legislation was not included in the Cybersecurity Act of 2012 earlier this year. After being published by the Federal Register, executive orders can take 30 days to become law. However, the president can amend, withdraw, or issue an overriding order at any time. Unquote. Too much power in the hands of a guy who can't be trusted, heading a government that cannot be trusted. Item from the Homeschooling Legal Defense Association. This is from William Estrada, Director of Federal Relations. I quote, the U.S. Senate Committee on Foreign Relations is scheduled to hold a hearing on the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities on Thursday, July 12. Well, that's today, isn't it? Phone calls are needed to your two U.S. senators to urge them to oppose this dangerous treaty. HSLDA founder and chairman Mike Farris has written a short memo on the dangers to U.S. sovereignty, family freedom, and homeschooling if the U.S. Senate votes to ratify the CRPD. You can read his memo online. We urge you to do two things. First, please contact your 2 U.S. senators by calling the Capitol switchboard at 202-224-3121 or by using HSLDA's legislative toolbox. Second, please call the White House and urge President Obama to withdraw the CRPD from Senate ratification. The White House switchboard is 202-456-1414. Again, the Capitol switchboard, 202-224-3121. It's necessary to identify yourself as a homeschooler. Your message can be as simple as the following. Quote, please oppose ratification of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. As our nation gathers to celebrate Independence Day, it's outrageous that U.S. senators would support a treaty that surrenders U.S. sovereignty to unelected UN bureaucrats. Our nation already has laws to protect disabled Americans. This treaty is unnecessary and will hurt families, unquote. In addition to calling your 2 U.S. senators, we urge you to visit their Facebook pages and leave your comments about this treaty. Please also forward this email, which I got, and you probably got too, to your family and friends. I encourage them to oppose this treaty. My friends, the word treaty is related to the word treason. Treason practiced by our legislators against us. We'll be back.
Have you been dreaming of new kitchen cabinets? Maybe you want to reface or repair your current ones but think it's too expensive. Are you on a budget but know you need to maximize and organize the storage space in your home, basement, or workplace? What about you gun enthusiasts who would like a customized display cabinet, or those emergency preppers who want a hidden storage unit designed for that unique space? Whether you want quality custom design cabinets, specialty woodwork, or budget repairs, Custom Cabinet Shop can help you with whatever you need. High-end or low-end, remodel, reface, or replace. This family-owned and operated business since 1980 will help you design just about any project. Call 303-340-1390. That's 303-340-1390. Find us on Facebook for your free quote and single on-site visit. Service area is limited.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Phillips, founder of the Green Herb.
All of God's people have a ministry, and it's a trick of our enemy to keep God's people sick and worn out to hinder their ability to minister. We are often judgmental toward people who are addicted to booze, cigarettes, and drugs, but we at the Green Herb have found that most of God's people are unknowingly addicted to the 2 most addictive products in America, sugar and soda pop. If you have a sickness or disease, or if you're just tired a lot, the Green Herb has an herbal product that is formulated just for you, and it's just $15.95. Come by the Green Herb, located in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, on the I-70 Frontage Road North, 1 mile west of Kipping, or call 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372, or go to our website, www.thegreenherb.com, and be sure to listen to the Green Herb Show with Linda and Dr. Cass every Tuesday at 1 o'clock on KHNC.
He was in the world, and the world was made through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 10 through 13.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Welcome back to Real Truth. The headline of this YouTube video is how many checkpoints in one morning? Welcome to the police state. You'll find it on my Facebook page, Real Truth Radio. You'll find it on YouTube. Punch in that headline. How many checkpoints in one morning? Welcome to the police state. This guy's driving a car. He's got his video camera on the seat next to him, so you see him looking out of his window. Okay? He's about to be stopped at he's already been stopped at a checkpoint. He's about to be stopped at a couple more. This guy has cojones because he refuses to be intimidated, refuses to be pulled over and treated like a perp, refuses to be treated like some extra in a movie about Nazi Germany. Listen to what he tells these cops. He refuses to knuckle under, and as far as I'm concerned, he's a hero. I urge you, when the show is over, to watch this video on YouTube. You'll find it on my Facebook page right now. Let's listen.
What's up, man?
You doing today, sir?
Good.
You a U.S. citizen?
That's my business.
Well, it's our business to ask. Are you a U.S. citizen or not?
You can ask. That's fine.
And you have to answer me, or else I have to detain you until you can either tell me you're
Well, I don't have to answer you because I have rights as an American.
Sir, go ahead and pull over there behind that other vehicle if you do me a favor.
No, thanks. I'd like to just go on my way.
You can go anyway since you tell me if you're a U.S. citizen.
Well, you know, I didn't know that I have to go around proving that I'm a citizen. Do I need to, like, show my papers like the Nazis, or... I'm not... Am I immigrating somewhere, or... Is this Mexico, or...
United States.
Huh?
Just answer the question, yes or no.
Well, let me ask you this. You know, is this Nazi Germany now? I have to show my papers?
Simple yes or no. You can either answer it or we can detain you here until we figure out whether you're a citizen.
Well, you know what's more simple is the fact that my freedom is a little more important than you seem to think. And that, you know, setting up checkpoints where people have to prove that they're a citizen is not something that America is supposed to be about. So I'm not sure if you understand that.
Huh? He doesn't want to tell me it's citizen.
Well, I'm just driving down the road here, and I've been stopped for some reason, and I'm, you know... no, thank you.
I want you to pull up secondary, sir.
No, thanks. I want to go free on my way.
Okay.
I'm, you know, here I am, just going about my own business, and, you know, I don't need to stop at a checkpoint where I have to prove who I am, because this is America. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, did I stumble into Mexico, or is it still United States? Okay, well then therefore I should have the freedom to travel unmolested, because I'm in America here. So.
Well, go ahead, go.
Go ahead and go where?
Going on the road.
Okay, see you later.
Lesson number one. Lesson number one. If the cops tell you to pull over, you say no thank you. If they ask you questions, you don't have to answer. They tell you you're going to be detained, you say no thank you. That's what all this guy said. And what happened? The cops let him go. They were hoping to intimidate him into buckling under, and he wouldn't. He stood strong. I feel great about this guy. About those two cops, I feel terrible. They're obviously fools who know what they're doing is wrong, and they don't care. They're getting a paycheck. But this guy's travails are not over. The video continues. Keep listening.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'd like you to tune this one a little bit, considering,
No. No, thank you. No. You know, I don't know why you held me up in this traffic jam for the last 20 minutes. This is the third checkpoint I've been through in the last couple hours. No, thank you. I'd like to go free on my way, please.
Hey, get it through.
He's sitting and waiting for a supervisor. Illegally detained. Violating his constitutional rights. Here comes a supervisor. This poor schnook just wants to go someplace, and the authorities won't permit it. They're insisting on his papers, just like the Nazis did back in the 30s in Germany. He's well. Okay, here we go.
What's up, man? What's up? All right. Can we have you pull him secondary, please? No, thank you. I'd like to go free on my way.
And why don't you want to go secondary?
Maybe it's because I've just sat in traffic for the last 20 minutes, and I'm already running late, and I don't have time to stop at your Nazi checkpoint and show my papers today. You know, I thought this is America. I thought I had some freedom to travel unmolested, and I'm just trying to go about my business here. You know, I don't have time to play games with you guys. I don't know what you think you're doing here.
All right,
stopping me for no reason.
Heather, can you run this car really quick?
You know, you stopped me for no reason. I've waited in traffic for the last 20, 30 minutes that you guys created this traffic jam. I got places to go. I have to go make an honest living.
All right, hold on.
You know, and you guys...
Guys, I just got disconnected. Sorry about that, but you get the idea. There's an average American driving along the highway, 3 checkpoints. Show us your papers. Are you a citizen? Pull over. He doesn't curse them, because that would give them a reason to arrest them. He says, no, thank you. I prefer to go on my way. The cops can do nothing. Take a lesson, my friends. If you're in the situation, don't buckle under. Don't be intimidated by these yutzes. Tell them, no, thank you. I prefer to be on my way. You may have to say it several times, but you know what happens? You end up going on your way. Because even though we're on our way to being a totalitarian police state, we're not quite there yet. Item from veteranstoday.com. Well, now it's official. Mark Zuckerberg was not so smart after all, but just fronting for the CIA in one of the biggest intelligence coups of all times. But there remains one small problem. The CIA is not supposed to monitor Americans. I guess we'll hear more on that soon from the lawyers once the litigation gets cranked up. Personally, I'll be more interested in how this is going to affect the stock offering and shares, as all Americans should own the entity that's been spying on them. Then there are the SEC full disclosure regulations and penalties. It's bonanza time for the lawyers. Could the loophole the CIA used be that you aren't being spied on if you're willingly posting everything a repressing regime would love to have on your Facebook account, with no threats, no family hostages, no dirty movies or photos that could be released, unquote. My friends, if I had time, I would play you a video of some guy testifying, some undersecretary or something at the CIA, talking about how the CIA collects all the information they could ever ask for on Facebook. So watch out what you put on Facebook. We'll be right back.
Herb's Meats and Specialty Foods sells hard-to-find clean meats for your family's table. Cured beef bacon, veal, turkey, and summer sausage, all pork-free. Also all available in collagen casings. That's right, collagen casings and pasture-raised, healthy, no hormones, no antibiotics beef at Herb's Meats and Specialty Foods in Broomfield. Call 303-499-8166 or stop by 1000 Depot Hill Road at the intersection of Highway 287 and 10th Avenue in Broomfield. Ask about shipping.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets have gone into the world. By this you will know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that does not confess that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, which you have already heard was coming and is now already in the world. 1 John 4:1.
Have you been dreaming of new kitchen cabinets? Maybe you want to reface or repair your current ones but think it's too expensive. Are you on a budget but know you need to maximize and organize the storage space in your home, basement, or workplace? What about you gun enthusiasts who would like a customized display cabinet? Or those emergency preppers who want a hidden storage unit designed for that unique space? Whether you want quality custom design cabinets, specialty woodwork, or budget repairs, Custom Cabinet Shop can help you with whatever you need. High-end or low-end, remodel, reface, or replace. This family-owned and operated business since 1980 will help you design just about any project. Call 303-340-1390. That's 303-340-1390. Find us on Facebook for your free quote and single on-site visit. Service area is limited.
My friends, let me introduce you to DJ Dolce. Okay? DJ is a Christian who's been in entertainment since she was a little girl, works behind the scenes on For the Record, is a member of Mensa, practices Krav Maga, that's Israeli martial arts. She also sings in the comedy musical group Wolverines with Molotov Mitchell, whose videos I've played on this show before. This comes from WorldNet Daily. I know the headline is Obama lies about everything, so I like DJ right off the bat. Let's listen to what she has to say. By the way, you'll find this on my Facebook page, too. Here she is.
Hi, I'm DJ Dolce, and you're watching News. News so good, you have to say it twice. 2 weeks ago, Planned Parenthood affiliates had a house broken into and vandalized, and one person was brutally attacked. He even broke the elderly man's hip. Let me be the first to say that the pro-lifers responsible for this should be dragged into the streets and beaten by an angry mob for violating their fellow citizens' constitutional rights. I'm sorry. It wasn't Planned Parenthood's people who were robbed and beaten. It was pro-lifers from Personhood USA. And since that's the case, pro-lifers, you just got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Living in the past isn't going to get you anywhere. Move on. .org. Speaking of threatening behavior, ever since Katie Holmes left Tom Cruise with their daughter, she claims Scientologists have been following her around. And it's weird. Newsflash, Katie, you walked out on a rich guy with his kid. His people are going to follow you. Scientologists aren't weird for doing that. They're weird because they think they're haunted by the spirits of dead aliens. Here's some news you don't need. Anderson Cooper felt it was necessary to tell the whole world that he preferred male genitalia to female genitalia. What a drama queen. A Florida man recently attacked 2 women with a sword in one hand and a peanut butter sandwich in the other. After cooking one woman and smearing a sandwich on the other, he was taken into custody, where he proceeded to chew up the seat of the police car. Liberals everywhere waiting to hear what type of genitalia he preferred before passing any judgment. And finally, factcheck.org has come out with a report claiming that Obama's anti-Romney Bain ads are factually false. Is anyone really surprised? Seriously, Obama lies about everything. His mother's insurance history, his grandfather's war experience, his parents' relationship, his schooling, and who he grew up with. But don't you dare think for a second he's lying about where he was born. I mean, his own bio said he was born in Kenya. His grandmother said he was born in Kenya. AP said he was born in Kenya. Heck, even Kenyan officials say he was born in Kenya. But, these days, he says he was born in Hawaii. So if you don't believe him, you're obviously a racist. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's news. Next week we may all be dead. We don't know, but hopefully we'll see you then.
Well, that was DJ Dolce. She's not exactly shy and retiring, but anyone who calls Obama a serial liar, you've got to like. Item from WorldNet Daily, Aaron Klein reporting Representative Andre Carson, Democrat, Indiana, who is now under fire for suggesting the U.S. needs to be looking at the Islamic madrasa model of education, which teaches the Quran, has a history of association with a radical Muslim group that was an unindicted co-conspirator in a scheme to raise money for Hamas. The group in question, the Islamic Society of North America, was listed by the Muslim Brotherhood as a, quote, like-minded organization that shares the goal of an Islamic nation. Carson gave a speech in May to the convention of the Islamic Circle of North America. Clips from that speech have been playing on Fox News this week. During the address, Carson stressed the importance of the Quranic model of education found inside madrasas. He stated, quote, America will never win the war against terrorism without help from the Muslim community. America will never tap into educational innovation and ingenuity without looking at the model that we have in our madrasas and our schools, where innovation is encouraged, where the foundation is the Quran. Stop, 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 stop. Is this guy kidding? Innovation in a madrasa? People who are still living in the 7th century? People who've contributed just about nothing to the world's fund of knowledge in any area? Innovation? Huh? Did I miss something? Like the last 14 centuries? America did not become the richest and most powerful nation in the history of the earth because we don't have a good enough education system. The system is good enough. You got to have kids who want to learn. For that, you got to have parents who teach them to want to learn. Madrasas? I know they learn how to make bombs. I know they learn that Jews are descended from pigs and apes. I know they learn that they've got to conquer the world in the name of Allah. I know they learn that they're allowed to lie in order to help them conquer the world in the name of Allah. Do we really have a congressman who says our educational system should be like that? I'm not shaking my head about Andre Carson. I'm shaking my head at the brain-dead morons in Indiana who voted for this joker. Item from the Free Beacon. President Obama's latest proposal to raise taxes on high-income earners would effectively cut taxes for a number of senior White House advisors whose net worth exceeds $1 million. At least 5 millionaires currently employed in senior White House positions would receive a tax cut under Obama's plan. An initial Washington Free Beacon review of financial disclosure records has found White House Communications Director Dan Pfeiffer, Press Secretary Jay Carney, Cabinet Secretary Christopher Liu, and senior advisors David Plouffe and Valerie Jarrett would all benefit under Obama's plan to extend current tax rates on annual incomes below $250,000. Each of them earns the maximum White House salary of $172,200 per year, records show, unquote. My friends, one hand washes the other in Washington. Item from the L.A. Times by Phil Willon, Catherine Celant, and Abby Sewell, quote, facing the same financial stressors that pushed San Bernardino towards bankruptcy, cities across California are slashing day-to-day services and taking other drastic actions to skirt a similar fiscal collapse. For some, it may not be enough. San Bernardino on Tuesday became the third California city to seek bankruptcy protection in the last month. And while no one expects the state to be consumed by municipal insolvencies, other cities teeter on the abyss. That's all right, guys. Don't worry about it. Just keep spending and spending and spending and spending and spending and spending.
The Lord brings the counsel of the nations to nothing. He makes the plans of the peoples of no effect. The counsel of the Lord stands forever, the plans of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, the people he has chosen as his own inheritance. Psalm 33, verses 10 through 12.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. This is the America News Network. Restore Health and Counseling salutes the men and women in uniform who've answered the call for our freedoms. Let's give them the hero's welcome they deserve as they have fought hard to restore peace. America's troops are our angels of protection, so stand up and salute them proudly. That's from Restore Health and Counseling at 4705 Paris Street, serving Northeast Denver with complete substance abuse counseling for adolescent to adult and for private as well as professional drug, alcohol screening and treatment and rehabilitation. Visit us at www.rhctherapy.com or call 303-373-1188. The Beth Messiah Congregation invites you to come and experience a Messianic Roots biblically based congregational fellowship as we observe God's Shabbat in Messiah Yeshua. Praise and worship services begin at 10:30 a.m., followed by an Oneg Shabbat meal mid-Rosh and fellowship. Beth Messiah Congregation is located at 8333 Acoma Way in North Denver. You can find out more information by calling 1-800-205-6245. Everyone's welcome, so join us this Shabbat. And Shabbat Shalom, good Sabbath.
We have got 4 minutes left in the broadcast week, my friends. I intend to make them count. Item from NBC Chicago. The Jesse Jackson Jr. camp Wednesday night released only the barest of details of the congressman's purported illness. The congressman is receiving intensive medical treatment at a residential treatment facility for a mood disorder, says a statement attributed to Jackson's doctor. He's responding positively to treatment. The congressman's office quickly added the rumors about him being treated for alcohol or substance abuse are not true, unquote. But family friend tells NBC News tonight that the congressman's problems run much deeper, that he has severe clinical depression, a drinking problem, or a problem with alcohol with treatment at a facility in Arizona. Stop. My friends, you want the inside information on what's going on with Jesse Jackson Jr.? Well, I don't have it. But I do know this. I know his father, Jesse Jackson Sr., is a piece of crap. Anti-Semitic race hustler. And if Jesse Jackson Sr. is a piece of garbage, what do you think his son is like? Item from Kurt Nimmo at Infowars.com. Officialdom in Miami-Dade is working with the U.S. Air Force to spray mosquitoes. This newest round of mosquito control involves a large C-130 cargo plane based in Ohio that sprayed Homestead, ARB, and communities of Riell, West Sweetwater, Kendall, Homestead, Florida City, and areas east of US 1, where heavy concentrations of mosquitoes have been reported. CBS Miami reports. Stop. Heavy concentrations of violations of the Constitution are also being reported. Posse comitatus. It means no U.S. military on U.S. soil. What the hell is the military doing spraying mosquitoes in Florida? Shouldn't the military be busy with, I don't know, off the top of my head, military matters? Now, you may say, what's the harm? All they're doing is helping kill mosquitoes. Well, there's large harm, great harm. Our Constitution is having holes poked in it. That's bad. It's very bad. There is no reason for Americans to start getting used to seeing soldiers either walking around our streets, flying over our streets, taking part in civilian activities. It goes against the law. If we don't have law, then by all means give me whatever money you have in your pocket. What's that? You don't want to? Why not? It's illegal? Oh, so we do have laws. Why don't they get followed anymore? While a more or less moribund Posse Comitatus Act forbids the military from participating in state and local police functions, the use of the military in activity that's the responsibility of local government is another example of how the military is being systematically integrated into civilian operations. The founders harbored a deep antipathy towards standing armies. The Third Amendment to the Constitution deals specifically with the quartering of troops in private homes, but its inclusion in the Bill of Rights reveals the mindset of the founders regarding standing armies. A standing military force with an overgrown executive will not long be safe companions to liberty, wrote James Madison. The means of defense against foreign danger have been always the instruments of tyranny at home. Among the Romans, it was a standing maxim to excite a war whenever a revolt was apprehended. Throughout all Europe, the armies kept up under the pretext of defending have enslaved the people, unquote. Standing armies in time of peace are dangerous to liberty and therefore ought to be avoided, wrote Patrick Henry. My friend, Patrick Henry was a bright boy. He was right. Get the military out of our streets, out of our civilian life, out of sight. There are terrorists to be killed. This is the end of the week for Real Truth, my friends. I'll be back on Monday. Thanks for listening, and listen, over the weekend, do this for yourselves and for your families. Stay safe. Stay healthy and stay angry.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are of God, because many